If you think you are too smart to be manipulated, you are already a target. Your intelligence isn't your shield. It is the exact backdoor they use to break you. The people most vulnerable to manipulation are rarely the least intelligent. They are the ones who mistake analytical thinking for emotional immunity. The most dangerous exploiters don't use force. They use adaptation. They study how you process the world, what you value, what your ego is quietly hungry for, and then they feed that hunger in a language only someone like you would recognize as meaningful. They don't make you feel controlled. They make you feel chosen. Nobody else understands this the way you do. That line has opened more intelligent people than pressure or deception ever could, because it doesn't bypass your intelligence. It aims directly at it. And you smiled, because it felt true, because in that moment, it was the most accurate thing anyone had said to you in a long time. That's not a coincidence. That's the method. When something feels wrong, an average mind might panic and leave. An intelligent mind does something far more dangerous. It investigates. It rationalizes. It builds a sophisticated fortress of logic to justify the manipulator's behavior, because the manipulator engineered this exact moment. They knew you would reach this point. They built the exit to feel more painful than staying. So you stay. And you explain. They just have trauma. There's probably context you're missing. You're being unfair. You should think about this more before you react. You confuse understanding someone with being safe around them. This is the ego trap. Manipulation works most completely, most cleanly, at the exact moment your intelligence becomes your identity. Because your ego cannot tolerate the humiliation of being fooled. To admit you are being manipulated is to admit you were vulnerable. And an intelligent person, someone whose entire self-concept is built around their ability to see clearly, cannot hold that admission without it threatening everything they believe about themselves. So they don't hold it. They explain it. And then they build a more sophisticated case for why the person doing it to them had a reason. The more intelligent you are, the more elaborately you can construct the prison. Using the same mind that should have protected you, using it to protect the ally instead. Your intelligence didn't fail you. It did exactly what it was built to do. Someone just learned how to drive it. You cannot outthink a manipulator. The intelligence that makes you a target doesn't become a shield just because you've named the problem. Knowing this video exists does not protect you. Knowing the theory does not protect you. Researchers at Cambridge studied what actually creates resistance to manipulation. Not general intelligence. Not awareness that manipulation exists. Not emotional sensitivity. The one thing that predicted genuine resistance was specific knowledge of how the mechanism works. Not knowing that you can be influenced, knowing the exact sensation of it happening from the inside. The ultimate protection is not suspicion. It is not paranoia or hyperanalysis. It is a ruthless, uncomfortable self-honesty. It is noticing that exact split second where your brain begins working to rationalize something that first made you uneasy. That gap between what you actually felt and the story your intelligence immediately started writing to explain it away. That gap is the only place where you are completely free, and it has always been there. You just trained yourself to move through it too quickly. The hardest people to control are not the smartest people in the room. They are the ones willing to see themselves clearly, even when that clarity destroys a story they needed to believe. The moment your intelligence becomes your identity, it stops protecting your perception. It starts protecting itself. And the gap between those two things is where you get lost. If you are ready to stop intellectualizing your blind spots, if you are ready to see the hidden systems operating around you, in your work, your relationships, every room you walk into, not with paranoia, with the specific trained clarity of someone who finally understands how the game is actually played. Subscribe to Covert Mind. The archive is here, every week, a new layer. And once you start seeing it clearly, you will not be able to stop.